Some projects are just kind of satisfying. Hey y'all, APGJ here, and I'm happy that you're here too. So today brings us hashtag for Art Saturday, and our motivational, inspirational prompt is tied up plus the color purple. And I have some file folder bits, so I thought we would use that, manila folders even, y'all. And the measurements are not that important, I don't think. I mean, you're going to make the size you want to make, and you'll make your measurements according to your sizes. Now, here's the thing about my measurements. They're typically not real precise. I have to go back and trim stuff, and sometimes I over trim stuff, and then I have to trim something else, and so on and so forth. And during this project, I caught myself stopping and examining and flip-flopping around and thinking about it. Because, that's kind of what I do a lot of. So, yeah. I don't know. Let's see. How long did I film? I had a little over an hour's worth of filming. Some of that has been removed because it was just, me flip-flopping around, looking at it. And, we've talked about this before. They answer the phone sometimes, and, different junks. Pet my babies. Anyways, using my little mini scoreboard, and I was adding several score lines, one tick mark apart, so that you get that kind of rolled over edge. We won't necessarily be able to see that at the end because we covered that all up, but that's okay. Now, it's the plus color purple. Y'all know I like the purple. And it's going to end up being mostly an accent color, not the premier color. Does that make sense? We are going to be using some painty cardstock, probably from the Mono Jelly Printing Plate. And we're also going to be using some of that purple cabbage, or if you like to call it red cabbage, dyed papers that we did whenever we did that in whatever year we did that in. It'll be about time to do some more for long, I reckon. And I will be marking stuff from time to time with pencil, and we'll erase lines and so on and so forth. And the video has been sped up, not super fast, although later on, when we get to gluing our little mono printed or jelly printed papers, whatever, painty papers, it will get sped up faster. Okay, because we'll just basically be gluing. And in general, when I started this, I just knew I wanted to use the manila folder and those painty papers. Okay. Tied up plus the color purple. I like purple. So this is hashtag 4th Art Saturday, and it is an open collaboration. So what you want to do is share your video or pictures as inspired by the prompt. It would be beneficial if you use the hashtags in your title and description. Please invite your viewers, friends, to play along. Join when you can, because it's open. You don't have to join all the time. And you interpret the prompt as you like. I ask that you keep it family friendly with no sales pitches. Okay. You may do a process video or a show and tell, with or without talking, with or without music. It's pretty open here. Um, I would like to see what you are doing if you're playing along. So please tag or otherwise mention @APG Jamie in your YouTube description. And that way I'll get notification of being mentioned, and that way I can watch your video. If you do post to Instagram, please tag or otherwise mention me there as well. And again, that would be, well, it's a slightly different mention. It's @artist poet girl. And if you would use the hashtag 4th Art Saturday. This hopefully would enable me to see your postings so I can comment on them, because I like seeing how you've been inspired, and I love seeing your work. So if you want to hook up links later on, if you should happen to do a video, or before even, you could, drop me a message somehow or another, and we can share links. And my videos are scheduled for 9 a.m. Central Time. And coming up for the month of July, on the 27th of July, will be the 4th Art Saturday. I hope I got that date right. I'll check that. The inspirational prompt will be loose ends plus the color white. So that's going to be that for July. And I did pause my voiceover and recheck that date. And yes, the 27th of July would be the correct date for loose ends plus the color white. So these are the painty papers. We've already trimmed, I don't know if we trimmed all of them or not, because I wasn't watching. I was reading. I'm going to be using that, what's that called again? Slot punch, or whatever it is. That one. I'm going to be using that. So I like to center that and put a pencil line where I can see it, and I can slide it in there. Mostly centered. It's mostly centered. Is it exact? No. Pencil line, it's pretty close. And some edges we round over and some we don't. And at some point I will be inking everything. And this is where I decided I'm going to kind of like paper clip these things on there, so I hopefully won't get too overly confused, because I do just have that one sheet of that kind of painted paper. So I'm hoping it'll fit everywhere. It does mostly. I mean, the outside gets the cabbage dyed paper, which is also our little signature that I believe I've already made by this time. And I just trimmed down the pages, down the sides, folded them over. That makes it a folio. And rounded the corners and such as that. And let's see. Trying to make sure I clear my little fold score marks there, so I don't put everything in a bind, because things don't want to close too well when you bind them up like that. Now on that is some desk scraps. I know sometimes I die cut stuff, and that's why I thought, well, we're just going to use this. It's purple. It's the right color. So I had 2 of those, and we will glue those together later. They are just basically a copy weight paper. This here green painting paper is cardstock, if it should happen to matter. I seem to think it's important because I typically tell you if it's copy weight or cardstock weight. And it's mostly lightweight cardstock, medium, light to medium. And let's see, some of those scraps we will cover the back with some of the cabbage dyed papers, so they can become journaling spots, y'all. Okay, now And I flip-flop it around and look at it and examine it and erasing lines and adding lines. And I think I like it that way better. Some areas I cover more. Some areas get, a slight rim around them just because, sometimes it's like inking, y'all. Sometimes there's more of a reveal than others. And that's my favorite trimmer right there. Nice. Unless I damage the blade, I should never have to replace it. Especially if you only use it for the one type of material. Like fabric scissors, if you only ever use them for fabric, they will pretty much always stay sharp. And paper scissors, pretty much the same way. Pretty much. Although not always. So, got that little piece of paper, and we're going to use that to cover the little tab thingy. Okay? And the little tab thingy later on keeps flipping around, so I end up having to glue it a little bit. Not a whole lot of it, just a little bit. We're just going to trim that around with the scissors. And your pencil line makes a difference, and I am barely trimming off the pencil line, and I think I come back and trim that just a wee bit more. This, I do not overly decorate the outside of it. Well, the inside's mostly not decorated either. It's just got some ephemera bits in there. And they are probably, I think I use Ideology bits. Oh, there's a list of ingredients in the description below the video, as usual. And hopefully I got everything in there. I don't remember. At this moment, I still have to type it up, so hopefully I remember everything. I have a book. I make notes when I'm doing stuff, and it's somewhere. I don't know where. I don't see it. So, anywhoodles, as always, if you have questions, let me know. I'll do my bestest to answer it. And again, we're going to use that little notch thing, I think. That seems to be the only thing I marked center for. Oh, no, we're going to use we're going to put a button on there, not a button. We're going to make a cardstock button to put on there. With a brad, we'll get there eventually. We're going to use that there circle punch and that there piece of card. Well, one of those pieces of cards. I don't know which one. One of them. I guess that one. And what am I doing? Oh, I don't know what I was doing. Sometimes my hands disappear. I don't know what I'm doing. Any more than you know what I'm doing. Just saying. Entertainment purposes, y'all. Hopefully you get inspired. I appreciate y'all being inspired. And that's a slightly smaller circle. I know. Because it felt like I wanted a slightly smaller one. We're going to glue those layers together. Where's the glue? It's amazing how I can lose stuff on my desk. And, it's just like, where did it go? Sometimes it falls over and a piece of paper falls on top of it. Or, yeah, that kind of stuff. Okay, put the pen back in the glue so it didn't dry up as fast. Yep. Okay. Yep, we want our green on the outside. And what are we doing now? Oh, getting a teeny tiny punch. I think it's I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, or it might be a 16th. I don't know. It's tiny. Makes a little tiny hole, y'all. I didn't quite get it centered, but it's okay. It'll be all right. It looks good. It's all that counts, right? Even if it didn't look good, it'd be perfect. So now we're going to mark on our folder where we'll make that hole. See, we had the center hole, the center line. Now we're marking for the whole hole. And I'm just going to use a little pokey tool. Just make a little pokey hole. It was after I made the hole, I thought, oh, I'm covering the outside and I'm going to need to re-poke that hole. But, you know, we'll do it. It'll get there. I'm like, yeah. I said, I got everything where I want it. Now what? Did we glue that on? Nope, we're not gluing that on. I didn't think I glued that on yet because I'm still trying to think. See, that's me tapping now. What do I want to do next? Oh, inking. I thought, yeah, let's go ahead and ink. And we're going to use, I think it is Majestic Violet. And we ink everything with that. And then we will do a second round. When I do the double inking like that, I bring the color over the edge just a bit more. And then I will hit the actual edge with black, typically. Maybe even a different color for that matter. And got some of the lines done. And I think even later on we will come back and we will pop some little ink spots on there, here and there, as I think I might need it. Good. Okay, so yeah. All right, so that's our red cabbage dyed paper. And I inked it all except one side because I wasn't real sure how long I needed it. I know, I could have measured it, but it would have been a faux measurement anyway. Just saying. We'll trim that again in a minute. Now, I'm not gluing over all those score lines that we made to make the little rollover edge. I'm not putting glue on that part. On my little editing screen, which we've not whined about for a while, it's hard to tell how much glue I put on there. Enough. It stuck, so I guess it was enough, right? And I'm skipping over those extra bunch of score lines, and I'm going up next to them. And we're just going to do all that. And then after I stick that down, I'm going to be like, oh, I needed to trim that part. So we'll fumble around with that. I guess y'all used to seeing me fumble around, right? Which goes to prove, if I can fumble around and get it done, you can fumble around and get it done. Or even better. So let's just pencil line it. Okay. Yeah. Is that where I want it? Yeah, I reckon that's where I want it, I guess. That's what we're going to do. I'm telling you, I flip-flop all over the place, y'all. All right. Got to get it folded up so I can get trimmed up. And then we'll try to ink it. And I'm like, well, we'll just have to put it down and ink it that way. Oh, rounding them corners. And then I decided, do I even want them rounded? Do I round them at all? Nope. I decided I'm just going to leave them straight. Nope, don't need to round them. It's okay. If you don't want to round them all, don't round them all. As you can see, some places are rounded and some are not. Excuse me. I had to do some little throat clearing. Anyway, just taking that little bone folder. Not a real bone. It's squishing all over it. See, I keep folding it up and looking at it and examining it. Oh my gosh, y'all. Y'all don't even see all that I do that. I'm not sure why I do that. I think it's just to calm my brain down so I can try to readdress what I want to do. Because, you know, I'm special like that. But now I got to poke that hole again. So there we go. Perfect. I'm sure. All right. Here's our little button. We're going to use a button. Remember, it's tied up. Okay. That's the issue I was having troubles with. Not the color purple, like tying it up. What am I tying at? Well, you'll see what we tied. Well, if you saw the thumbnail, you know what we tied up. Anyway, so now I'm going over that little cardboard. Well, it's not cardboard, but cardstock button that we layered together. with the ball stylus just to kind of raise the edge, the very edge just a little bit, because we're going to wrap string around it. You want it raised that just a little bit, which is why we used a slightly smaller circle on the bottom side, okay? So we're splaying out the little arms of the brad, and it's a little brad, not a teeny tiny brad, but it's pretty tiny. And now I'm looking for paper to cover it up, but it was not necessary because we have that painting paper panel that we're going to glue on top. And the reason you want to cover up your little brad legs like that is so if you have a pocket, okay, things can slide easily, more easierly in and out without catching on the brad legs. I'm like, yeah, that's good enough. Because see, I'm still not quite clicking that I'm actually going to cover that up. I think it's when I glue it down that I'm like, oh yeah, I was going to cover that up anyway. Then I think I decided to make it a pocket. I don't know. There were many pocket opportunities on this project, okay? And I didn't use all of the pocket opportunities. Now I'm lining my stuff back out. Yeah. It helps keep me straight, y'all. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna go there because that's inside. That's a pocket. See, that was gonna be a pocket. We don't need a pocket on this side because that little die cut thing is like slots. And which one of these cards goes where? I'm like, why? Let's make that a pocket. That's where I'm saying, yeah, let's make that a pocket. So see, it was just as well I covered up those little brads thingies, arms, legs, whatever you want to call them. Let's get that notch punch back out. Sure is handy, y'all. Not necessarily the easiest thing to punch, but it's okay. And we're going to do some inking. I'm not going to do the double inking on this. I'm just going to use the black because the purple would basically be a weird color on that greeny tealy kind of paper anyway. So yep, that's going there. That's going there. One more thing. I don't know what. That finger action right there. Oh, my purple ink dauber was they get icky sometimes and they start crumbling about. So, especially when you use solvent-based inks like the archival. After a while, y'all. So, this is going to be a pocket. And we didn't put any gussets on it. They are not needed, I don't think, this time. Not this time. Pretty happy with the colors we picked, though. I like the purple. I like the greens. I don't know when we made this painting paper. I've had it for a while. That's where I'm gluing down that little tab thing just a little bit. Just a little tiny bit right there on that very edge. Okay. This could have been a pocket. And I thought about it. And that's me signaling with my hand. Do I want it a pocket? Do I not want it a pocket? I'm like, our little signature is going to go on top. So maybe I don't want it a pocket. I could put it a pocket on that side. Y'all, these are all things that go through my head continuously. And it's not going to be a pocket, but I am just putting glue basically around the edge instead of squishing it all over a place. Okay? Okay. So there we go. Do it then. Pretty happy. Okay. So this one is a pocket. The manila folder is the pocket part. And I thought, well, I don't like that manila shining so much. So we put some ink. We put a little black and a little purple. Or violet in this case. I believe it's called violet. And when this is, I'm gluing this whole thing down. Even though I could have left it as a pocket too. Everything could be a pocket. You just don't have to use it as a pocket. But I glued it down, so it's, yeah. But the manila folder part is a pocket. And that's where I thought, oh, it needs a little more ink. And on my little editing screen, can't tell that it made a difference. But I know in real life that it did. So, went and grabbed some elastic cording. This is the Dollar Tree one. So it's pretty thin. I know. I've said it before. I don't know how many times. Get on Amazon and look for a slightly thicker string cord. And I'm like, yep, that'll fit. So we're just going to tie it. We're going to slip it over because it's going to be a dory style. And we can take our pages in and out or not. And we can sew them in later on if we want to or not. Yeah, it's pretty open like that. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. I'm like, yeah. Okay. Okay, now let's glue the manila pocket down. We're just going to glue the two sides, or the top and bottom edge. And the sideways is going to be open for the pocket. And we're just using paper clips for Ellie Mae's. Sometimes they're good enough. They're Ellie Mae's. Then what are we doing now? I don't know. Even my hand didn't know what we're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, here it is. I couldn't find it. So those are, like I said, that's copy weight paper, and I'm going to glue the two of them together so it will be basically cardstock weight, basically. You glue two pieces of paper, and lightweight, light cardstock. So here we go. Gluing. Oh, art glitter glue. Hope I remember to put that on the list. Okay. You'll be careful because it gets damp when you put the wet glue on there. And with it being, copy weight paper, it could be a little teary. So be careful. You don't want to scrooge it up. Unless that's what you want to do. And I think I get the ink out. You should really let things dry a bit before you start inking it. But, I didn't. And I'm not gluing across the top, although this is the kind of slot thing you can. It's a Tim Holtz style. Oh, did I write that down? I don't know if I wrote that down. I don't even know where my little book is. Anyway, so we got that. I'm like, yeah, that's my purple. No, there's a little more purple. See, they're all slots. You can use every one of them. Every one of them. Okay, and that's gonna go there. And we decided we wanted more inking and more inking. So, is your word of the day. Oh, that would have been cool if we just sewed around some of this. And I'm just gluing the whole thing down. I mean, it's got enough slots on it. So, glue. Gluty. Okay. Yep. There we go. Okay. This, are we really super fast, or we put some weight on it? Now we're back down to a bit of a slower speed, and this is our string. It's just embroidery floss, and we're going to tie it around there. Going to kind of lift it up a little bit to get our string. We're going to tie it because that's tied up. And then we're going to roll our thing around. We're going to put another knot in it. And hopefully that's good enough, because that's the way it is. Wrap it around. I hope it's long enough. This is where I'm like, oh, yeah, barely, y'all. I guess we could just wrap it once or twice and not necessarily 3 or 4 times. And this is a Dollar Tree butterfly. And it has a foam pop dot on the back that I didn't like because I wanted it flat, even though it's a double layer. And that one has a foam thing in it. And we're just going to glue this straight up. on the top part of our little folio. Okay. Looks pretty dark on my screen here, but it's pretty. It's got all those colors in it that we put inside. How coinkadinkle was that? Serendipitous. See? Tied up that butterfly. Flip-flop time. Okay. Barely. So we tied it up and we untied it. Gonna open it. Oh, I'm gonna show you sort of the edges and like, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's the kind of tumped out. That's okay. Just some little bits of ephemera. Some of that is some Amazon sticker edge, and some of that's just scrap papers. And that's one of those collage things, strips, with some of the embroidery floss on there, and just some little bits and stuff that was just folded over, little scrappies. Yep. And then you open it up, and here's the pocket. And we got two little things in there. There's plenty of journaling spots, plenty of places to be decorated if we should so want to do that at some time. Chances are it will probably get put in a journal sometime or another. And there we have it. Ta-da! Photo montage. I hope you guys can play along. You guys, y'all, you know who y'all are. I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm very happy with the colors. I think the purple just really sings on this project, and you can see my little score lines all there for the rounded edge on the outside. You can't see them anymore because I covered them up with the paper. So anyways, we used darn near every bit of that green. There might be a few little scraps out there, but not too many. Maybe enough for mini moo card Mondays. I don't know. It went in that basket, which is overflowing. Oh my goodness. I'm happy. Look at that. I know it's very plain. We might put labels on it at some time or another when I go to put it in the journal. We'll wait and see what kind of journal we put it in. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for watching, and happy art, y'all.